Hey y'all, it's your girl Alana J, and I'm here to tell you about all the magic that is happening at Bravery Studios, New Jersey's #1 podcast recording studio. At Bravery Studios, you handle all the talking and they do the rest. That's it. Seriously, all you have to do is show up and shine. Yes, honey, work. With 3 different filming locations, there's a perfect space for every type of podcast. From cozy chats to high-energy shows, Bravery has got you covered. But wait, there's more. Bravery Studios hosts monthly events and podcast gatherings, perfect for networking and connecting with fellow creators. So what are you waiting for? Head over to Bravery Studios and let's make some podcast magic together. Do it. Come on. You know you want to. You know you want to.
My cousin went to Mexico and went to, like, I guess a bakery and asked for a grande bizcocho.
Oh
and they were like,
Oh my God.
Listen to this guy.
That is so funny.
He had no idea he was ordering a giant. Yeah. Clap it up, clap that thing up, clap that thing up. We back, baby. It's your girl, Alana J, and you acting up with me today. I'm coming in hot today.
Ooh.
A lot of caffeine.
It's warm.
That's it. Just caffeine.
Okay.
This I promise you.
Is there like
Just
a
caffeine.
Pre-workout in there
It is.
too?
No, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know what Double D is up to these days. You know, they sell empanadas now. I didn't expect that to happen. They're Mexican all of a sudden. Mexican donuts, churro donuts and whatnot. Anyway, you see, we are already on a tangent and we just still in the intro.
Yeah.
But yo, it's your girl Alana J. You already know what it is. I'm in the building at Bravery Studios. Today, who do I have acting up with me? I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you right now.
This guy.
All right? Okay? He is, we got to put some respect on his name. All right? Emmy-nominated. All right? Telly Award winning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Webby Award winning.
No, nominated.
Webby nominated.
Thanks to Rachel. She helped me with that.
We just edit that live. Y'all, and my friend and former client whose ass I used to kick on Zoom.
Yes.
The one and only Ramon Pesante. Yeah, you better get some
That's a
claps.
lot.
That's
Thank you. Yeah.
Wait, I just need, Ramon, I just need people to know, I'm at a place in my life where in order to see my friends, I have to start a podcast.
Yeah.
And get them on for interviews just to remind them how dope they are.
The last time I saw you, you were like walking down 8th Avenue, and I was like, "That's Alana." It was just like,
I was coming from a client. I was in those streets. I be in these streets. I be in these streets.
Yeah. You were back from like Louisiana, like not like a week, and you were already out in these streets.
I was trying to collect these coins.
Yeah.
You know, we a coin collector. But real quick, just so people know who I'm dealing with, who we're dealing with today on Act Up with Alana J, which, by the way, Ramon, that just stands for ACT. She an actor, comedian, teacher. Bomb. We acting up. Toma. Just in case you wanted to know.
It's going to be really hard to match this energy. I'm going to try.
It's all right.
Okay.
It's all right. It's going to ebb and flow. I promise.
All
I
right.
promise you. But listen really quickly. I'm going to read your bio because Ramon Pesante is a highly accomplished creative producer recognized for his outstanding contributions to the streaming and broadcast television world. Renowned for his ability to bring groundbreaking concepts to life, Ramon has achieved remarkable success, including winning a prestigious Telly Award and garnering nominations for both Emmy and Webby Awards. Y'all.
Yo.
So you kind of a big deal in these streets, huh?
No, yo.
Just a little bit.
No, I'm just amongst a community of other creatives. Like you know, and I love that I'm always working to keep up with, you know, so many talented people in our community. Absolutely. Let me tell you. Like,
listen, I'm trailing behind you, okay?
No, you know what really inspired me?
I'm dehydrated from trying to keep up with you, okay?
No, let me tell
need a
you.
snack.
Let me tell you.
Yes.
I was first inspired when I went to one of Room 28's early shows.
Okay. First inspired. Okay, wait.
Yeah.
I see. I like where you're going. I like where you're going. but I want to direct it. Can I direct it?
Yeah, direct it.
Can I direct it?
Action.
Because you are a storyteller.
Yeah.
Okay. And in storytelling, we have what is called the inciting incident, which is the event that happens that propels the primary character into action.
The end of Act 1 into Act 2.
Talk to him.
Yeah.
Talk to him nice.
Yes.
What is the inciting incident in the story of Ramon Pesante, the creative human being?
When I was a kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
My mom was an actress, and she's still an actress.
Yes, she is. Shout out.
And I saw her struggle as an actor, especially as an Afro-Latina actor, very much like you. And she tried to get me to be involved on camera too. Like I was on like The Guiding Light once as a little kid.
What's the Guiding Light was what? What kind of show was that?
That's a soap opera.
A soap? You were a soap opera actor?
No, it was like an extra scene, extra stuff. But
okay, no words?
No words. But
okay,
I remember they put like this
featured background. He cute. How old were you?
I was probably like 10, and they put like this big sombrero on my head. And I was just like a Mexican kid, and they had me running.
No.
With soccer, playing with this other kid.
They put you in orale face?
Yes.
That's
orale face.
That's dumb, but it's all right.
No.
Half the shit I say is, let's go, keep going.
And then I was just like, and it just over time, I was like, I love like entertainment. I love telling stories. I like playing make believe, but I just didn't feel like, and listen, I had a lot of like early in my career, like my early as a kid, people were like, this kid has got something for the camera. But I just didn't like how I was always positioned. Oh, he's a this type, he's a that type. I'm like, I don't think I can handle that.
You didn't want to be put in a box.
I didn't want to be put in a box, and I didn't like that people always telling me, oh, this is the abused kid for this episode, and New York Undercover. We can use him for that. Or he's the kid.
Oh no!
Yeah, it was like.
Were these auditions? Were these auditions that you went in for?
Yeah,
How do you? Did these have lines? These auditions?
Yeah. And there was like a drug dealer kid, I'm like
a drug dealer child.
Yeah, it was just like, this is weird.
Can we do better? What network was that? CBS? Can we do better? CBS? Really?
I remember, it was such a long time ago, but I remember
you're doing better. You're doing
New
better.
York Undercover. I auditioned. I think I had like 2 or 3 auditions in a row for this one role, and then they gave it to a much younger kid. You know what I mean?
How old were you?
I was probably at that time. I was probably like 14. Because that was when New York Undercover was hot, and I was like, I want to get on New York Undercover,
Yeah.
But
one of those rites of passage. For New York
that would have been. I mean, that's such a part in our history. I feel like we all watched. That was our Law and Order.
Hell yeah.
But then I felt like that wasn't. I just didn't like that I was always being told that this is the category I always belonged in. Right. But I wanted to
these negative portrayals.
Yeah. So that's when I wanted to move into behind the camera and telling stories, and then I could, let people be themselves in the things that I make.
So as a teenager, you knew that you wanted to be what exactly? Just be involved?
I just want to be involved, yeah. At this point, But then also, like, I used to love movies. I used to love always going to the movies, and like I was one of those people that knew more about the movie than everyone else. They'd be like, hey, did you go see, this
What
movie?
do you mean?
Like they go, oh, did you go see Batman Returns? I'm like, yeah, man, I loved it. It was the director Tim Burton was this, and the composer was this, and then people were like,
and not to age us, but this is pre-internet.
Yeah, it's pre-internet.
This is pre-internet. So you were a Google, you were a little IMDb.
Yeah.
In these streets.
Yeah, I always knew more than everyone else about a movie.
How did you get this information?
I just cared. Like, looked up, who was on the credits. You know what I mean? Watch Entertainment Tonight. I just was like always like involved with, whenever you could find like a behind the scenes about the film.
Yes.
I would always be tapped into it. Like even like DVD or like the VHS, like, extra content, just behind the scenes content. I was always like, I'm gonna watch the content. I'm gonna watch the interviews.
You were invested.
Yeah, I was very invested in that.
You were invested.
Yeah, so.
You didn't care just about the story. You cared about the people who were making these stories.
Yeah, absolutely. Because those were the people that early I was like, I want to be those kind of people, but I never wanted to say it out loud because
you never wanted to say it out loud.
I didn't want to say it out loud because it was just like something where I felt silly because I knew that we were surrounded by, you know, we lived in the Bronx. In our culture, like, you kind of felt like none of us.
You were ashamed of your dreams.
I was ashamed of my dream because it was like people were always pushing me to go to the army, or, you know, or be a cop, or, you know, be a doorman, or they were always trying to tell me that these are our options.
That's where you fit.
Filmmaking. If I said filmmaking, they'd be like, all right, okay. You know what I mean? So that's something that it took me a very long time to go, oh, I can do this. I can actually, you know, it's just I got to take the long way. It's not a job you apply for. It's just
it's a journey.
You just got to do it yourself. A lot of it to yourself.
What was the thing that told you, like, nah, I'm not listening to these people? Like, what kept you? Because, you know, after a certain amount of times, the more you're exposed to an idea, the more you start to, you know, start to entertain it. You know what I mean?
Well, I didn't listen well.
Alana, in general,
I don't listen well, Alana. I don't.
Listening was not my thing.
That wasn't my thing.
You don't listen well, Ramon.
I don't listen well.
You don't take I feel like Denise. Shout out to Denise. I feel like you be taking feedback. I feel like you could take some feedback.
Well, I realize now as like someone that's in his 40s that's self-aware that you need like a board of directors of people that you listen to in your life.
A board of directors.
You know what I mean? People that, you know, you go, okay, I'm going to be around this person because I know that they're very successful at this, and this is something that I want to get good at. So when it comes to parenting, when it comes to my career, I always have like a board of directors, people that I tap into and I listen to because I know that it benefits me. So, but I knew that once I got to BET, when I was working at BET, and I started listening to people that go, yeah, you could totally be a filmmaker. Like, why not? You know what I mean? We want to be filmmakers too. That's when I realized, okay, so those are the people I started listening to because they were saying the things that I wanted to hear when it comes to like making film, is that I could do that too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The people who actually had, you know, a positive mindset about...
Yeah, it was just like, I'm surrounded by like Black and Latinos, like, no, we could do that too. And when I was leaving, that's the thing, when I was coming into BET, some dope filmmakers and directors were coming out of BET and they're going off to Hollywood.
Yeah, can you name names? Are we allowed to name names?
Yeah, that's fine. This guy, his name is 19. He had directed the Nas documentary that blew up. And
Which one was
he worked on that for years. It's called, oh man, I forgot the name. It was a Nas documentary.
Okay, it was a Nas documentary.
It's probably the best Nas documentary if there was ever a Nas documentary.
Yeah.
And that blew up for him. And I remember he was just an editor at BET. And then this guy named, I think his name is Brad White.
Shout out.
He's the DP. Like when I was leaving, I didn't get to meet him, but he was doing like camera work for a lot of BET stuff. And now and then he was the DP for the Han Solo movie.
Wow.
He was the DP for Arrival. He's like one of the top director of photographies in Hollywood right now.
Wow. And
So,
he
like,
started at BET.
He was working at BET. Ava DuVernay was making content for BET. They hired
before she picked up a camera?
Yeah, bro.
I did not know that.
So it was just like all these like I started when I was coming in, even like Kevin Hart, where he was just like in the office at BET and he was about to host the BET Awards. I think this was in 2013, 2014. And
you got to meet him?
That was before he blew up Kevin Hart. Yeah. He was like the guy that you saw on the internet or, you know, like.
Right. Did you meet him? Did you get to meet him back then?
Yeah, he was like in the office. Like,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Did you talk about how, I think we didn't get to how you got to BET. What was your role there? How did you get your foot in that door?
I was really taking crappy jobs in the industry, and then I found myself freelance. I found myself at Inside Edition, was like a really crappy like tabloid TV show. Right? And in that same building. Yeah. And in that same building.
Probably traumatizes you now.
Oh, awful. They are the reason I have the worst experience working at Inside Edition. I worked during Obama's first inauguration.
Okay.
And they took me to DC.
What year was that?
This was when when did Obama get elected?
2004?
2004? No, not 2004.
Was it 2004?
No, it was 2008. 2008. Yes.
Oh my God, 2008.
Sorry, yeah.
Okay,
2008, they had me go with the cruise to Washington D.C. to cover his inauguration, and they abused.
This was BET.
No, this was Inside Edition.
Inside Edition.
And they
keep up. Okay.
It was the worst experience in my entire career.
Why?
These people were awful people. and they treated me like crap.
Oy.
The entire experience. And I remember, I even like after
they was just nasty.
It was just like they
condescending. I know
that's a long conversation, but
okay.
I just know that any terrible thing you could do to a production assistant on a set, they did to me.
Ugh.
It was quite awful.
PAing can be really traumatic. My first job ever was I was a PA for Maury. Did I tell you that?
Yeah, I bet you it was a better experience than mine. I put money on it. I put money on it.
Yeah?
Yes.
How long was your experience?
I worked at Inside Edition for maybe 3 years, and then
3 years.
And then
as a PA.
Well, first I was a runner.
You already beat me. Yeah.
Huh?
You already beat me. I wasn't there that long.
Oh yeah. Mailroom runner, and then they had me go and be a PA at the inauguration for Obama, which I was so glad Obama won, but it was such an awful experience being in DC with these people. Yeah.
So what kept you, despite having horrible experiences, what kept you, what kept your skin in the game?
Oh, because I've also, I had a very, I don't know. The shit never was easy with me. So, at this,
you were this is...
I'm all right, this is the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'm used to this. I'm built for this.
I was built for it. I was built for abuse and all that other shit.
Well, dang.
Yeah, I was built for it. So, and then one day I walk into an elevator in the same building, and then I flirted with this girl in the elevator, and she was just like, "You should come work at BET." You should come work at BET. I'm like, "Is there a job?" She goes, "Yeah, there is a job," and it was like a media planning job. And she gave me for the job, this is what you need to know. This is the job. You don't need the experience. It's fine. The person that you're gonna interview is this. Talk about this, because she'll really perk up if you mention that, because she was involved with this deal and that deal. So she gave me all the inside info that I should know. So I took all that into that interview, and then I got into BET. But it's a very low level media planner.
Okay, wait. So a flirtatious a flirtatious encounter.
Yeah.
That's the right word. A flirtatious encounter with a young lady in an elevator.
Yes.
Was the catalyst for your employment.
Yeah.
At BET. Can we clap it up for that?
Yeah, man.
That's kind of ultimate swag.
That was yeah.
How long ago was that?
This was 2010. 2011?
2010. Yeah. Damn.
No, maybe a little before that, because my wife is probably going to be like, "Wait a minute, we met at that time." I'm like, okay. but no,
that's for Denise. That's for Denise.
But she flirted with me. I flirted with her, and then of course you jump on the Facebook DMs, and then we're talking the whole time, and then that's when she was like, "No, you should come work in here." Just and she helped me get the job at BET. And then through media planning.
That doesn't happen to us. That's never happened to me. Anyway, I'm not bitter. It's fine. I'm jealous.
Listen, it was divine timing that she came into that elevator and we saw each other.
Yeah.
And then there was a job available at that time. It's about timing. Life is about timing.
You're right.
And it's about
right place, right time.
And I believe in luck. I'm a strong believer in luck.
Yeah. Especially in this business.
Yeah. It's about luck. It's about timing. It's about making your relationships are your currency. You know what I mean? So you have to build relationships. You can't be an introvert in this business. You cannot be an introvert.
Ramon is reminding me that I need to be out there in these streets more.
But you're out here. You are out here.
I'm out here. I'm out.
Let me tell you about you. I've always told you
something good or bad. Tell me whatever you want to tell me.
Your stand-up comedy is your best asset. Because you cannot get, an audition because you didn't impress that one person, but you can go up on a stage and you can gain the interest of thousands, millions of people. You know what I mean? And it's all based on not being validated by one person that doesn't know shit about who you are or your skills. But it's you just work, and you're one of the hardest working actors I know.
Oh,
you can go in, you can work really hard at your stand-up comedy. You can fail, you can succeed, you can fail, you can succeed, you can do that, and you can get back on that stage and you can win over a crowd. And that's why right now's the time that stand-up comedy is at its peak right now. It's crazy.
It really is.
It's crazy
statistically.
How much it's literally banking.
According to Instagram infographics I've seen. Yeah.
Right. But it's like, well, no, not even Instagram. Like I've been watching.
Oh no, an infographic that I saw.
Yeah,
I think Netflix is a joke posted. Was it Netflix is a joke? Maybe, I don't know. Some account posted ticket sales for comedians over the past few years, and like it's totally escalated. I mean,
I've been watching like I watch a lot of Charlie Schultz podcasts. He's funny, and
Charlie Schultz.
It's a Charlie Schultz.
Andrew Schultz.
Andrew Schultz.
Okay.
Sorry, Charlie Schultz. Oh my god. But and I think he is so funny. I also like he's not liberal, but he's also, and he's kind of conservative. I'm not conservative, but I like to listen to people with different opinions, and I think he's one that I really respect at times. But I think he's like, he was saying like a bunch of comedians that I've noticed, they're all saying, yo, we're in our prime right now. And I think that being a stand-up comedian like you are, is like, that is your best ticket to catapulting yourself into your career.
Hell yeah.
And realizing your success.
Listen, especially right now, because it's been slow for a sister out here. Okay, we book new headshots. Okay, because we we got to do something. Okay, level up these marketing collaterals. But absolutely.
But see, that's a reflection of your hard work, and you can definitely get there. I've seen so many comedians like that started like very modestly, and they're now, I've seen it in person.
Absolutely. Same.
I've seen Robin Shaw.
No.
She's like a little Jewish chick that she went viral during the pandemic.
Okay.
Because her grandmother died, and she did this whole thing, and then Kim Kardashian shared her and all this other stuff. Then people started showing up to her stand-up comedy.
You get a Kardashian to share you on.
Right, and now she's a correspondent on the Kelly Clarkson show.
Wow.
Like a digital correspondent but that's the thing, is like you can
all from just a post,
doing your own narratives. And I think that I wish I could have been a stand-up comedian. I don't think I can, because I just don't like being in front of the mic and in front of the cameras, like, even though I'm doing this, but it's like, because I could bounce off someone.
Yeah.
But I respect stand-up comedians. Like, look at Cat Williams. That man doesn't need a job from anybody but from himself.
You're absolutely right.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
So
trying to be like Cat. Yeah. When I grow up, I'm trying to be like Cat, even though I think we're already the same height.
Yeah, probably.
So circling back really quickly. So we were at BET. Then after BET, we were at Wendy Williams.
Yeah. I left Wendy Williams. I left BET in 2020 during the pandemic. And I got a job at working for Wendy Williams show, and then it transitioned to working into the Sherri Shepherd show.
And that's where you were Emmy nominated, right? At Wendy?
Yeah.
Clap it up.
At Sherri.
Sherri. Okay.
But my time in daytime TV was brief, and I'm glad. It was only about 3 years. I had a stint much earlier in my career at daytime TV, and I got to say this about daytime TV. It's some of the most talentless people involved in that industry.
Ooh.
It's the most talentless. People just make political moves. It has nothing to do with talent ever, because it's just people. The only talent is the people on the camera. Like, Sherri is probably the most talented daytime host, because she didn't have writers. She just goes off the cuff and goes off.
Wow.
A lot of these other daytime
cue cards.
Yeah, people, they need
teleprompter.
They need writers.
Yeah,
writers. Sherri had teleprompters, but Sherri just that was just to give her cues. Okay, up, okay, go, and then she just goes off. I think Sherri is probably deserves that spot more than any of these other like daytime TV hosts. Like Jennifer Hudson, God bless. Yeah, she's talented. She just knows how to work a room, and that is. But she's a stand-up comedian. That's what I'm telling you.
Jinx. Yes.
I'm telling you. So, but like people like Jennifer Hudson, she needs writers. She needs people to format her whole shit for her. You know what I mean? Drew Barrymore, same shit. But
these are different networks, or all the same network?
All different networks. But I think that daytime TV, there's a lot more people just making moves with no talent, because they have to make political moves in order to excel in daytime television.
And you're talking about the hosts, not
No, I'm talking about
producers.
the producers behind the scenes.
Oh,
they just make, like for that Emmy nomination, I had to fight for that. I had to fight to get on because they tried to keep my name out of it.
Really?
Yeah, on something that I worked on.
And this, let's clarify what exactly it was for. Let's explain to the.
It was for the Emmy nomination.
In layman's terms.
It was for the Emmy nomination. Working at the Sherri show, someone tried to just literally. There was just like 3 people on the nomination, and then I had to like, and then I remember it was Sherri's assistant, and was like, "Hey, didn't you work on that?" I'm like,
"Yeah." And what was the award specifically?
It was for promotional. We didn't win, so it doesn't matter. But it was like
it does matter.
But it was like
God dang it.
Yeah. It was like
better toot your horn.
Promotional announcement, and they took the content that we created and we worked on, and they made like these social things, and then they found like a little avenue to nominate themselves, submit for nominations, and they got it. But then they forgot to include the people that actually worked on the content. They just took our content and repurposed it and then submitted it. I'm like, well, wait a minute, hold on.
That's wild.
My team. Our team worked on that. What are you doing?
What was that process like?
What do you mean? Which part? So Sherri was like
fighting for it. Fighting for it process.
That's the thing. They were my clients, so I had to be very careful. I'm like, whoa. So I think I let my boss handle it. I said, yo, y'all talk about that. Because because already Sherri's assistant was fired up. She was like, what the?
She was fired up.
She was fired up for me because she was like, well,
you.
They left you out. They left you out. I'm like,
well, that's good.
And then, but you got to play that, because the moment you become the aggressor and they're your client, they could just totally be like, we don't want this guy anymore working for us. So you just gotta be very careful in that situation. But again, so people making political moves to advance themselves because they don't have any talent.
Got you. Wow.
And that's just that's many examples of people in daytime television. That's why I say stay away from that shit.
Expose daytime television. Yeah, I mean, from my experience working at Maury, I will tell you right now, it made me want nothing to do with entertainment ever again. And I worked there for all of 3 months. It's a fun story. I may have told you this story before. But I was a PA, and just to give you some context, the job that I had was initially 3 different PA jobs. But then NBC got cheap, of course, and put them all into one position. So I was a studio PA, the office PA, and the travel PA. Essentially like on a show week.
Wow.
Each team of producers consisted of a producer, an associate producer, and a PA. I was the PA on my team. So if it was my week for a show, as the PA, that basically meant I was not going to sleep like the whole week. And I need my sleep. All right. At least a little bit. I'm an empath. Okay. Google it. We need more sleep because we take on everybody else's baggage on top of our own. Okay. Anyway, besides the point. I was also young and whatever. Listen, I wanted a job in radio. That's what I wanted to do. I only took the PA job.
You got a voice for it.
Thank you. I only took the PA job because that was the only place that offered me a job. Okay. All right. Let's call it what it is. So whatever. Basically, I'm not gonna talk about everything, but let's just say that your expectations are not set accordingly to what the job is really going to entail.
But also, it's not going to be based on success, meaning that unfortunately in this industry, you could do a really good job and still lose your job. Or still get let go. Hey, it's not working out. Like, hey, so it's just
no guarantees.
It's like, look, this is one of the few industries you do
screwing someone.
You could
screwing someone behind the scenes. Not me.
Right, but you can go in, do a phenomenal job, and still get let go.
Right.
That is in this industry, especially daytime.
Yeah.
That's it. We'll let you go. That's it.
1,000%.
Great job. Goodbye.
1,000%. So I'm going to fast forward, whatever. I knew very quickly that I did not want to be a part of that machine. The real thing for me was the exploitation of these people who are real people. That was the big thing for me, the exploitation. Like, it literally was breaking my heart. And, when I did quit, I offered to I gave 2 weeks, but they were like, Alana, like, we've noticed that, like, You're really empathetic. You get really, really close to the guests, and which is great for the job. Like, the guests would only want to deal with me. Once they arrive, they only want other people's guests, other shows that had their own shows with their own PAs. They only wanted to deal with me.
Right.
So she, my producer, my boss was like, you kind of have to be like a doctor with this job. You have to desensitize. And I was like, girl, be like a doctor. Get the hell out of my face. So, like, we're curing cancer over here. Okay, we're not. We're getting people paternity tests. Okay, that's what we're doing. And then we're lying to them about not knowing the results. But that's besides the point. So, anyway, Jordan from Two Grown, I met there. So that was one contact, one relationship that wound up from that job turning into something bigger and better. And one of the producers, Gloria Harrison, shout out to Gloria Harrison, she wound up writing a musical some years later, because at that point, again, I wanted nothing to do with the industry after Maury. This was a couple of years, 3 or 4 years later, whatever. When I realized, like, nah, I got too much energy to not be, like using it and performing. I mean, I don't want to be like, but you know what I mean? Anyway, so this right now, Gloria wrote a musical. I wound up getting cast in this musical that she was workshopping. And Maury was there. Maury came to the workshop, right? I got to rewind real quick. The one time I encountered Maury at the show, on a show day, I went up to him. He didn't even make eye contact with me. I was like, hi, Maury. I'm Alana. I'm the new PA. Nice to meet you. Without even looking me in the eyes, he turns away and goes, have you not asked yourself what the hell am I doing here yet? And walked away.
Oh, wow.
And walked away. That was the one encounter I had face to face. Not even, because he didn't make eye contact with me. That was the one encounter I had face to face with him when I worked there. Fast forward to after the workshop, some big smile on his face. He looked fucking miserable at the show. Big smile on his face.
Of course, he was a journalist.
Right.
Like, what is this?
Exactly.
What am I doing?
He wasn't proud of the work he was doing. You could tell, but he was collecting them coins.
You could feel it on the show.
Right. He was collecting them coins.
Oh, yeah.
So after the workshop, after the performance that we had that he was at, he came outside and I went up to him and he had a big smile on his face. He was like, oh, you were so great. And I was like, do you remember me? And he was like, no, why? And I was like, I worked for you as a PA for about 5 minutes. And he started laughing. He was like, yeah, that's all you needed, right?
Yeah.
That's all. And he was laughing. It was so funny.
It's good that he was self-aware. Like, he was very aware.
Yeah. But all that to say,
who was like the best celebrity / talent you've ever encountered? Like, wow, that's a real nice person.
The best. It's funny because I was going to ask you this.
I got one.
That you've worked with or that you just met?
I worked with.
Okay. The best encounter that I had with a celebrity. Gosh. I can't. You go first. I have to say.
Okay, I got three. I got three.
He got 3. Okay, you go first.
So I'm going to say the best for last.
Okay.
Like, Wendy was not the best to work with.
Okay.
But I remember she was wearing one of these, like, beehive buns.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hair buns.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, damn, what were they called? These buns.
I got no idea.
But I was like,
Big ass
I
buns.
like, and I said, I like your hair. Is it like a hive?
Uh-huh.
She goes, it's a bun. I'm like, sorry, I don't know much about hair because I don't have any. And she goes, neither do I. And I was like, wow, that was funny. That was funny, and that was like right in that tail end of her career. But she was still witty enough to say things like that, And then 50 Cent was an amazing guy to work with.
Really?
Funny guy. All this thing about him.
He be tweeting.
He's got jokes, but it's like
trigger Twitter fingers.
Yeah, but like I remember I was adjusting his audio, and it was giving me a hard time. And then when we were shooting, I said, oh, I got to fix his microphone again. I said, guys, hold on. I got to fix his mic. I'm sorry. And then he kind of just like, come on, man. What's going on with you? And then he just gives me
Curtis.
And then he just gives me this big smile. He goes, man, I'm just messing with you. Yeah, whatever you need. But it was very nice. I shot him a few times.
What did you work with him on?
Some stuff for BET. Okay. We did like a sketch.
Social
We
content?
shot a sketch for him, and then he had a show called 50 Central.
Mm-hmm. No
That's
mas?
not. Yeah,
Okay.
That's
R.I.P.
That was like. I felt like that was he was trying to do 106 and Park meets SNL, but on BET budget. Eiffel. And
that was for the actual television network, right?
Yeah. And then you know who David Hyde Pierce is? He plays Niles on Frasier.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Frasier's brother.
Yeah.
He's the absolute sweetest man in the world.
Really?
I was an usher for a play he was in.
Okay.
And he was just the
Not usher, an usher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The usher for a show. It was a Broadway show. And he was the sweetest man in the world. Because, they don't treat ushers right. Most of these people.
Really?
But this man made shirts. He gave us shirts. He bought us lunch. He was very sweet, very nice, just a very gracious man.
He was in the show? He was in this particular show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you encountered him
many times.
Yeah.
He was the sweetest man in the world.
Wow.
Sweetest guy in show business.
That's so good to hear.
And that's why I watched him. I still watch Frasier to this day, and I'm like, I love this guy. I love his character. I love who he is. He is just funny, talented, and he just treats people amazing. Just regular people amazing.
You got to. You need to.
Yeah,
I mean, well, not everybody does, but so was being an usher one of your survival jobs?
That was before I got to BET. That was like I was doing Inside Edition in the daytime, working as an usher at nighttime. So I was only working. I was working 6 days a week.
God, these media.
So like Mondays, because there's no Broadway on Mondays, is there? Or is it Tuesdays?
I should know this, but I feel like it's Mondays.
Yeah. So then I was basically ushering every day after work.
Right.
So I was working in the day at Inside Edition, and at night I was ushering Broadway shows, and then I was even ushering in the weekends. So I was like
working nonstop.
I was working nonstop. I was working my late 20s, early 30s.
I was just about to ask. And how old were you?
Because I was working hard, bro. I was working a lot.
People think, I wrote for The Source very briefly, right? People think that if you're affiliated with these companies, that you're killing it.
No. You should be lucky to be working there. You should be lucky to be working for nothing here.
Exactly. Working for nothing.
Because we're The Source.
Right.
Shut up.
Cállate.
Shut up.
Although I am going to be having a guest on the podcast in a couple of weeks from The Source. So shout out to Courtney in advance.
Okay. Oh, I thought it was.
She's a multifaceted journalist. But anyway,
okay.
Besides the point, shout out to her. So I want to go back to your celebrity questions. All my really cool celebrity encounters was when I was waiting tables, unfortunately. But also, it's
I'm
nice.
mad for you too.
It's nice to see. I know you waited tables too. Maybe we could talk about some horror stories with that, because I did want to ask you about some of your survival jobs.
Yeah.
Because that's what made me think of that when you started talking about homie, the usher thing. So Kristen Wiig. When I was working at this restaurant in Soho called Lure.
Mm-hmm.
Seafood restaurant, sushi, raw oysters, crab claws, all of that. Anyway, hot food menu too. Anyway, is delicious, very expensive but delicious, good for a date night. Nonetheless, she was my first celebrity patron at that restaurant, and nice? I had just started. She was incredible. She was there with her parents. Yeah, I think it was just her and her parents. It was the three of them, I believe. And at the time, I had just started studying at UCB, Upright Citizens Brigade Theater, improvised comedy, sketch, comedy, frickin' hub. Let's just call it hub of the greatest talent in the city. Go through that program. Anyway, so I was super excited. And yeah, she basically I made her laugh, which I died a little bit on the inside. I was like, I can't believe I'm making the Kristen Wiig laugh. Oh my God, this is
that's 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 like getting Spielberg to watch your film and like it.
Exactly.
Yeah, bro.
Exactly.
That's a win.
So
that's a win.
That was a major victory for me. And she tipped me I think her check was only $150. and she left $100 tip, at least $100 tip. Yeah. Yeah, she left me $100 on like $150 check. Yeah.
Right.
So clap it up for Kristen Wiig.
Yo, Kristen Wiig.
Because I mean, I'm sure at some point in her career, maybe she had to, she had to wait tables. And also, same restaurant, Mindy Kaling. Mindy Kaling was a delight, and this was like only a few weeks after Kristen Wiig, I think. A lot of like Kelly Rowland, Taraji P. Henson, all these people. Bon Jovi was a regular at this restaurant, so it was like a big hangout. Like Bruno Mars, Ryan Gosling, like big people it was a hangout for a lot of big celebrities. But yeah, Mindy Kaling too. And at the time she came in, I was reading one of her memoirs, so I was like, "You fucking kidding me?" Like this is cinematic. It was cinematic for me. And I was like, oh, this is a sign that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I had read, she also started as a PA and was miserable. And she was like, F this. And that's when that basically propelled her to start creating her own stuff. Yeah. Anyway, but I also got a very nice tip from her. And I waited till the end of the meal because I was like, I got to shoot my shot and just let her know I know. That's what I would do. I would respect their time. I would respect that they were just a regular human having a regular meal. And at the end, I would always like flatter them a little bit just to make that connection, just so they knew that I recognized their work and I appreciated them. And, at the end of that meal, I went up to her and I was like, I know this is probably weird, but I'm reading your memoir as we speak and I'm so inspired by you and blah, blah, blah. She was like, oh my God, no, I don't think it's sweet. I don't think it's weird at all. I think it's like actually really sweet. And I was just like, you speak exactly how I thought you would. So yeah, it was cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I served Ralph Macchio.
Who's that?
Karate Kid, the original.
The original?
Yeah.
I have a tattoo inspired by Karate Kid. I should
You should know
I should know this.
Macchio is then.
Yeah, but to be fair, it was
God. Are you
inspired by the Jaden Smith one. Don't be mad at me.
Oh my God.
Don't be mad at me. Did they talk about the chi in the original? Ramon, give me a break. I'm a little bit younger than you.
You are. Okay.
I'm a wee bit younger than you.
God. The Jadens.
Cut me some slack, although I should know these things.
I'm sorry. No. But yeah,
it's
he
fine.
was
just don't ever let it happen again.
Ralph Macchio was kind of a burnout. He was kind of like,
what do you mean?
Because like his tip was like, because he was paying the bill, and then he was trying to figure out in his head what to tip me, like while I was standing there. He was like, oh, just take and he goes, just leave it here. I'm gonna figure it out. Okay. And I'm like, bro, it was not rocket science. It was not. It was like, I think his bill was like $13, and he gave me a 20. He goes, just take a.
How about like, keep it?
I was like, yeah. I was like, all right. Look, I don't put no pressure on you. I haven't seen it on TV in years, so I don't know.
I don't know what the budget is. What the budget is budgeting right now.
Poor guy, bro. But yeah, he's just a little burnt out. Kellyanne Conway.
Okay, I know who that is.
Can I curse on here?
Yeah.
She's a twat.
Oh.
She was a twat.
Say it again.
She was a twat. She was like a regular.
Twat?
She was a regular, and she was a twat.
What establishment was this at? Just for context?
The Comfort Diner. This was on 45th Street.
Does it exist?
It does, but it's a shell of itself now. It's not the same anymore. But yeah, Kellyanne Conway was a regular there. This was before she was Trump's,
spokes.
Spokesperson.
Spokesbatch.
Yeah, spokesnatch. I like it. But yeah, that was before that. So I just remembered her when I saw her on television and go, oh, this bitch. And I'm like, this is the bitch I used to serve at the diner every day. I hated this bitch. She was the worst. No. Just nasty. Rachel Ray she wasn't too pleasant either.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
You'd think eating all those pies.
There you go.
She'd be pleasant.
Yeah. Maybe her pie wasn't eaten.
Well, I don't know what her specialty is. Her bizcocho is
somebody gotta eat that pie.
Did you know that bizcocho means vagina in Mexico?
No.
But it means cake. Like Puerto Ricans refer to cake as bizcocho. Right?
Yeah, but I didn't know that's what Mexicans call it.
So my cousin went to Mexico and went to a bakery and asked for a grande bizcocho.
Oh, my God.
Listen to this guy.
So funny.
He had no idea he was ordering a giant pussy.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I know. Anyway, I don't know how we got there.
What? Best? No, this was the best. All right. So when I was waiting table, I love
how now we're just talking about these stories.
I was offered to cater like a few Def Jam records like parties. So I would be a server.
Okay.
So I served a Janet Jackson party. Everyone was there. I was serving grilled cheese sandwiches to like Mike Epps. I kept offering Jay-Z, and he did not want any of my grilled cheese. I'm like, Jay, do you want them? He goes,
Maybe he lactose.
No.
Maybe it'll make his lip get bigger.
I was like, there's so many famous people in this bitch.
Where was this at? Where was the party?
It was like, oh man, I don't remember. It was in the city. It was in the heart in the city on 23rd Street.
Okay.
And it was just
40-40?
No.
Oh, okay.
But it was oh no, this was a different club because I also did the Neo party too. I did his second album release.
Damn, Janet and Neo.
Yeah, it was. I catered Neo's party. Remember Janet Jackson did that S&M thing. She was like, it was like a.
What album was that?
I forgot what it was called, but it was like not the memorable ones.
Velvet Rope? No.
It was like the one where she was like covered in leather and stuff, and and this was when she was dating JD at the time. But and this was under Def Jam. She had released an album under Def Jam, so this was the album. So I remember I kept trying to give Jay-Z this grilled cheese because everyone else loved it. I'm like, Jay, have grilled cheese.
Damn, Hove did not.
No, man. And then
get that out of here.
Angie Martinez was taking all the grilled cheeses. Everybody, bro, I can't even remember.
Angie strikes me as someone who would like grilled cheese.
Yeah. Definitely.
She liked the grilled cheese.
Yeah.
She had second, thirds.
Yeah. So, but there was like so many famous people at this one party that I didn't even remember how many people. Like, I just lost like track of how many. Is this what it is to be amongst famous people?
What was the energy? What was the energy like in there? Do you remember? Just regular
famous people drinking and just celebrating, doing an album, just listening to the album, and then that was it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's Janet Jackson. You're gonna show up to the release. You're gonna show up to Janet Jackson's album release party.
Around what point in time was this?
This was when I was doing the diner because the diners catered it.
What era in history? What decade?
Oh no, this
was
like
the early aughts?
Yeah, no, this was in the 2000s, like 2000s. Probably 2000. I would say maybe 2007, 2006.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So I was, still figuring myself out. Then.
Yeah, and this was, iPhones were not a thing yet.
No.
Smart. I think phones, the only phone I knew, a smart device that I knew about at that point was a Sidekick. I hated those.
I didn't do the Sidekick. I did the Nextel.
I had bleep bleep.
Bleep bleep.
My dad got me a bleep bleep because he wanted everywhere. Alana come in. Get the hell home.
I thought it was cool to have a Nextel until I realized that the only people that had it was my dad.
Yeah.
So I was the only person I'm like, bleep bleep, Dad. He goes, what?
All right.
All right, nothing. It was just didn't make any sense.
Listen, my dad was.
I should have gotten the Sidekick actually.
You would have thought my dad got like the code book, over and out, 10-4, 10-4. Yeah, you would have thought, I'm like, Jesus, like what am I in the freaking infantry over here? What are we doing over here? Anyway,
and it's so weird too. Like you're in the movies and you just hear.
Right.
Oh, so I had a friend that did have
everybody
a Nextel.
knew. Shut this.
So I had a friend that she had a Nextel. I used to hang out with my friend Bree, and. She was a single mom, so whenever we would hang out, she would have her mom watch the kid, but the mom was always like bleeping her, like,
really?
And like we'll be in the movie, and you'll just hear, "Where are you?"
Yeah, that was the thing.
Where are you? Or like it would be like random, like we'll be having a drink, and you just hear, "Sabrina, where are you?"
These are little T traumas that the kids will never know because
it was like you couldn't control that.
Yes, that lack of a function was out of control. It was humiliating. I got in trouble in 7th grade because my dad was bleeping me during school, and Miss Figueroa was all whoever's phone. I don't know if she called me a sinner. I was in Catholic school. I don't know what she said, but she was just like whoever's cell phone that is incredibly rude and disrespectful. And I was just like, oh my, mind you, I was valedictorian, school president. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, Miss Fig, you really coming for a kid's self-esteem right now just because we got a device.
So
crazy.
So let me ask you a question.
What?
If you were so good in school, why did your parents feel that they had to keep you so close? If you were like doing your
Damn,
thing, you were
this just became therapy for a second.
No, I'm just curious. Like, why did you think that they felt that they had to keep you on a short leash?
Fathers, bro. You know. My dad.
I don't got a daughter.
my dad didn't want me running around these streets with a little him. Probably, you know, like
true.
Probably. I don't know. I'll never know. Rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? But
right.
That's what I'm assuming. But that was a big issue for me, was the fact that I was so aware of how differently my brother and I got treated. Mm-hmm. And that was something that, like, as I became a teenager, I always threw in their faces. But Brandon did this, but Brandon did that at my age. Why can't I do, why can't I go to a party?
Right.
You know,
did it benefit you though?
What, to be a little bitch?
No. Did it benefit, like, in hindsight? Like, I know when I was checked at times, I'm like, yeah, I probably benefited from someone stepping in. So do you think overall in hindsight, do you think that you benefit from it?
No. And the reason why I say no, and I say no so with such assurance, is because the intent, I understand the intent.
Right.
But it was the approach of trying, like, what they should have done was educated me on why boys sometimes get treated differently than girls. Why? You're not giving me a why. And that was what I would always ask. But why? You know, like, so you're trying to protect me, but you're failing to protect me because you're not being honest with me about what you're protecting me from. Mm-hmm. So that's a conversation, like, in adulthood. Like, I have these conversations with my mom, you know, like little things, you know, like, for example, as a kid, like, boundaries, right? As a kid, my dad would always like grab my leg like that. And I hated it. And he knew I hated it. And he would always do it. And he would laugh. It was funny to him. Like, my reaction was funny to him, you know? And oh my God, like, I'm getting mad just thinking about it. And, you know, I told my mom recently, I was like, the issue that she'll bring it up and laugh about it. And I was like, the issue that I have with that is the fact that taught me that it didn't matter what my boundaries for my own body were. Somebody could touch me regardless, even if I say no. That's what that taught me.
Wow. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but these are things that seem innocuous. They seem so small. But, and like my uncle too, he would tickle me. He would tickle me to a point where I felt pain and I would scream, stop. And, you know, they got a kick out of it. They got a kick of my reaction. And that's something that I think we need to be careful about, you know.
Yeah. I think my son, you know, recently, because, you know, we're very snarky in our house. Mm-hmm. And when my son does something that I don't agree with, mm-hmm. or does something, I more roast him than actually, like, yell at him. Yeah. Because it controls my frustration. So I roast him. I'm like, oh, yeah, you want to do that again? Go for it, buddy. So
But do you make fun of him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Instead of yelling at him. I make fun of him.
Okay.
But it's like Dan and Roseanne. Like Roseanne, you know what I mean? You know, the way they roast their kids. Yeah. But it's not like, it's not as bad as,
it's not like
I don't bully him.
It's not like verbal abuse.
Yeah. It's not verbal abuse.
Okay.
It's roasting as a way of, like, go ahead, man, keep doing it. Yeah. And then, listen, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect dad. But I remember he confronted me, he goes, like, where's the line? Draw the line here. Are we kidding or are we not? Because he's like, and then he said, can you just, like, draw the line, please? Can we draw a line here? Wow. And then, not in those words, but he basically was making it clear, like, look, I understand that I'm supposed to be able to take a joke. Yeah. And this and that. And, but, it's a lot. Yeah. And I'm like, okay.
And how recent was that?
That was like 4 weeks ago.
Wow.
3 or 4 weeks.
Shout out to Xavier.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like
drawing boundaries.
Right. And,
that's hard.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but I'm glad.
I want some claps for boundaries, Professor Knox.
But I'm glad
Thank you.
He is I'm glad that he's able to do that. And also tell me with respect. He goes, when's the line drawn with you? Yeah. And I'm like, okay, shit.
Well, I mean, with each
that's the best thing a parent can do. listen, I don't got the best parenting advice all the time, but the one thing a parent, if you could be a good parent, is that they listen when their kids are saying something that they're taking seriously.
Absolutely.
Like, okay, all right, I get it. All right, let me adjust. Let me adjust. So that's what they should have done for you.
That's like, honestly, and how old is Xavier, just for context?
He's 23.
He's 23?
He's going to be 23 in June.
Okay, he's going to be 20. Just for context for people that don't know your son, who's a very talented singer as well. So, what was the last thing we just said?
Boundaries.
Boundaries.
Yeah.
I forgot where I was going with the boundaries.
Just that, we were talking about how, something that your dad used to do, and then you just wish what we learned.
Listening.
Yes. And just how,
that is like kind of...
You didn't feel heard.
That's my origin story, honestly. Yeah. That is my origin story, is the fact that, like, especially as a girl,
And now you on the mic.
And now I'm on the mic, like...
I'm
nobody believed me, so now I'm going to make you hear me and believe what I have to say. No. You love it, don't lie. No. But yeah, isn't it crazy? Life is crazy. Life is so crazy. And now...
Yeah, I think also, like, I think things that I think the things that we experience as a young person, we find a way to amplify it as an adult to kind of make up for it.
Compensation, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. I think it's really cool, though, that, like, in my case, now with my mom and kind of with Xavier with you, it's like now we're in a place where we are also open to educating our parents, and parents are open to receiving that information.
Yeah.
So that, I'm not saying everybody, you know what I mean? Some of y'all knuckleheads still out here in these streets, but I still believe. I believe in you. Yeah. So you took some accountability, huh?
Oh, yeah, like that's the only thing I can think of make up for my faults as a parent. Mm-hmm. Is just be accountable and listen.
Oh, yeah.
Because I didn't get the right playbook. I didn't get the best playbook.
Yeah.
Know? So, but, I'm aware.
Right.
I'm aware of that,
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay. I want to ask, because part of this whole endeavor is not only just talking about life, but what are some things that we can recommend to the listeners, to the Bravery community, to make us better people? Right? I think we kind of just dabbled right now by accident talking about accountability, boundaries, all that. But for you, what is like one tool? It could be anything. It could be anything. It could be a book. It could be a documentary. It could be a mantra. It could be a practice.
A better person?
Any actionable tool, something we could do, read, watch, that you recommend for the listeners to become a little bit better today and potentially a little bit better every day thereafter.
So
a little God shot. I call it a God shot. Give us a God shot.
I think honestly, it's that this is like the best advice that I can come up with, and is that maybe turn off the headphones and stop consuming so much content. So like it's like so much.
It's so much.
Give yourself like,
as we make content right this second. It's
exactly.
So much.
But it's like, give yourself time to not listen to music, not to listen to, not consume anything, and just consume what your thoughts are telling you. And I think people have to start listening to themselves more and stop, looking for, a podcast to tell you how to, even though that's literally, this is so meta.
Every other podcast.
It's so meta.
We're not talking about this podcast, we're talking about every other podcast.
But I think it's important that we should stop listening to what other people are trying to tell us, and what to believe and what to think and how to believe, and whose side are you on anything, and just take a moment to just listen to yourself for a little while. And just like, I'm starting to realize that when I go walk my dog or I go do something, I'm like, I'm gonna leave the headphones home.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna, and it's crazy. I come up with the best ideas when I just turn everything off.
That's a bar.
And all I have is my head, is what's in my head.
Yeah. And dude, nature, being outside.
Yeah. Listen to it.
With trees. Listen to the melodies of the birds chirping. Yeah. We dessert in the format of the... Okay, no, I'm done. We're going to cut that. We're going to fucking cut that.
You remind me... You know who you remind me of?
Who do I remind you of?
The wife from Bob's Burger.
Oh, my God!
Because she's just singing right out into songs. Because that's what she does. She just breaks out into songs. Random.
You're not the first person to tell me that. That's the thing. You're not the first person to tell me that I remind them of frickin' what's her name?
I forgot her name.
The mom from Bob's Burgers.
Donna.
And doesn't she have like a act? She's really nasally. Does she talk really nasally in the nose?
Goes,
that's
really? Great.
That's great.
That's great.
Well, Ramon Pesante, that's great that I remind you of Donna from Bob's Burgers. Like whoever the fuck
I say that to my
that.
wife too. But see, my wife breaks out into songs when she gets frustrated about something. Like, once again, leave the toilet seat up again. You know, she'll break out a song into it.
That's better than cursing you out.
Yeah.
Take a little song.
Well, she'll add a little profanity in the song.
I mean, listen, you gotta. It feels good. It's been shown that cursing actually releases endorphins.
Yeah.
So fuck it.
Fuck it.
Fuck it. Dude.
Yeah.
We gotta get out of here.
All right. This was fun.
I've had a blast.
Yeah.
I've had a blast with you. I'm so glad that I'm doing a podcast to force my friends to come sit down and fuck around. This is amazing because you're incredible.
Thank you. You're incredible.
You're incredible. You're so talented. We didn't even get a chance to talk about the fact that Ramon directed me in a film that's doing its thing right now in the film festival circuit.
Well, we're done with the festival circuit.
We're done with the festival circuit. Well, it happened. It was a thing that happened, and I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity to be a part of it and all that jazz. But you want to leave us with?
Let me see.
What should we stay tuned for in the world of Ramon Pesante?
Well, we got a distribution deal for the film.
For playing Sam. Yeah. Woo! Distribution!
I had a lot of offers. One I almost took, and I turned them all down. And I think that this one that we got is the best one for the film. So, thank you, thank you, Comcast.
Thank you, Comcast! Shout out to Comcast!
Yeah.
Badass. Amazing.
Yeah.
Anything else that we need to stay tuned for outside of playing Sam?
No, man. Just, follow me on Instagram, Ramon_Pesante. And, I always have things I announce when I'm ready to announce them. But,
and Ramon, just to put a little button on this, you did recently just get recognized by the New York Latino Film Festival.
Oh, the Shutterstock thing.
The fund.
Cool.
The fund.
Shutterstock fund. Yeah. That's just like it's like that's a nice little boost of going and making content featuring our people more.
Amazing.
So that's cool. I'm excited about that too.
Awesome.
Thank you.
We'll stay tuned for everything that comes from that, because that was a grant, right? Didn't you get? You got some funding.
Yeah. I got
Make
funding.
some noise for money, mother suckers. Make some noise for collecting these creativity coins, because it'd be hard out here to monetize in these streets. But Ramon is doing it. We're hopefully going to be doing it sooner than later. On that note, this has been amazing. We out.
We out.